Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pula and here's what we have in the bulletin.
Winter tourist season kicks off with cautious optimism. Government to issue Hurricane Melissa grants. And later in sports, Sunshine Girls lose Vitality Horizon series.
Now the details. Today is the start of the winter tourist season and stakeholders remain cautiously optimistic. But Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says there are encouraging signs that the sector is beginning to rebound post-Hurricane Melissa. Antonia Atkinson reports.
Hurricane Melissa did not just disrupt lives, but the livelihood of thousands of Jamaicans who work in the tourism industry have been hanging in the balance. But there's a glimmer of hope as tourists have begun visiting our shores again. Over the past 4 weeks, approximately 300,000 tourists have been in the island by air and sea. The ministry is also reporting increased regional travel. Copa America, for example, has added 10 flights per week into the island. For his part, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett acknowledges that the industry has taken a major hit following the hurricane, but insists that recovery is underway.
And just Montego Bay, that's 10 flights to Montego Bay. Not Jamaica, because we already have, 5 to Kingston? So that would make 15 flights a week from Copa, which is the most extensive, with the largest footprints in South America to the Caribbean area.
Speaking at a stakeholder meeting, Minister Bartlett noted that strategic partnerships across various sectors have helped some areas rebound faster than others, particularly in Western Jamaica.
But what we've done is not only to look at what the state can do alone, but we've tried to bring a public-private partnership arrangement together. And out of that public-private partnership, we are now looking at what I had estimated to be $1 billion Jamaican dollars to assist our workers in enabling housing rehabilitation. That is now looking like $2 billion Jamaican dollars when we tie in what you have done as the stakeholders.
The tourism minister also outlined upcoming initiatives aimed at supporting tourism workers as the sector continues its recovery.
We will be showing Jamaica a bit of what has been done by our partners for our workers. And so we are going to have a little over 150 workers who will be the first of what will be a total of 5,000 tourism workers over time who will be beneficiaries of this program that we have just announced.
Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
The government says it plans to start issuing reconstruction grants to Jamaicans whose homes were damaged during Hurricane Melissa by early January. But the grants depend on the completion of housing assessments now being carried out by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry's assessment teams have been working around the clock, moving from community to community to document the extent of destruction. As at December 9, a total of 40,144 household damage assessments had been completed, marking a significant milestone in the national recovery effort.
We have 544 assessors trained and operating on our platform, and we anticipate to double that amount. Cabinet has approved now the scaling up of household damage assessment submission that was made recently, which will see us having the ministry's integrated assessment acceleration strategy supported by ministries, departments, and agencies that have field capacity to assist us in completing the remaining household damage assessments.
But with thousands more families still waiting for inspectors to visit their homes, the ministry is preparing for an even greater push. Minister Charles says the government aims to complete 150,000 household assessments by the end of next January.
We intend to have at least 200 teams deployed across the parishes that are our priority parishes: St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, St. James, Hanover, Trelawney, and St. Anne. And those teams will be fitted with supervision from officers of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, as well as our support partners.
The ministry is urging residents to cooperate with assessors and ensure they are available to provide accurate information about their losses.
We have 60 JDF Service Corps that are assisting 17 JDF officers that are in the West, and we have 30 more from the Service Corps that should be coming on. We have also 30 additional assessors funded through the World Food Program that are being formally onboarded, and they have begun their operations. We have 20 of our officers from Kingston and St. Andrew, MLSS officers, that are stationed now in Mandeville to reinforce the St. Elizabeth deployment.
Aliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Mr. Charles Jr. says as at December 9, the ministry's expenditure and food procurement amounted to 225 million Jamaican dollars.
If we were to integrate the food that has been received in terms of donations and also packaged and deployed, that would increase exponentially. But this is what we have procured from the ministry. It includes $52 million spent pre-hurricane in terms of purchases of food that were pre-positioned across the country, and also $173.1 million in post-hurricane expenditure. Finally, I want to advise that the self-reporting mechanism is live.
2 weeks and counting. That's how long it's been since floodwaters started to recede in New River, St. Elizabeth, following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. But residents say they're badly in need of help to rebuild. Krista Campbell reports.
A man in swim goggles talking to a news team, not after diving into a pool, river, or the sea, but into drains in the St. Elizabeth community of New River. And the men you see behind him are actually catching fish, now in large supply since floodwaters swallowed the community shortly after the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Watermarks halfway up some houses tell the tale of the situation that sent residents packing.
Last year it was there, and I think the year before it was there. I have to leave. I couldn't stay here.
The water started receding in most parts of the community 2 weeks ago, and residents have returned to destruction, damage, and despair.
Tear off my house top, tear off my house side, dash where me things them out of door. And afterward I get a bad flood. I have to move from here to get a little shelter. And after that, I have to come back. I couldn't stay any longer. I come back and catch up in a one little corner with chapaling and all those things.
To save some of my things, I have to rent an apartment. And if you can look inside now, you see how many furniture damage right now. See me throw some across the road here right now, and there are still more to throw out.
They say everybody here so I have to stay with. Up on market with the whole away.
Right now, I'm tired. Me don't start. Look inside my house. Me don't start. You understand me? Me wash. Only guy understand. Me throw away.
Yeah, we are trying to do some, like if we say we can try to cover it back because all that furniture and mash up, so we have to just try to see what we can see.
Residents say there has been no shortage of help with food and tarpaulins, but besides Papa and Sons Hardware, which donated some blocks, ply and nails on the weekend, they haven't received help to rebuild. They say they're now contending with menacing mosquitoes and also need help to cut the overgrowths hanging over the roadway, which are also breeding grounds for the pests. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Butchers and farmers are calling for action after a December 10 meeting with Agriculture Minister Floyd Green. In a statement, they said that although contact numbers were provided, many stakeholders were put on waiting lists, leaving them unsure when help would arrive. The group is now asking for a written confirmation of the agreed measures and their implementation timelines.
So we are looking out from the promise we get. So far, we have getting a couple calls that we will get in the cow tags, and they have few parish be hitting in the next couple of days, which we already heard on the radio. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll keep an update on what will happen.
In the meantime, the St. James Health Department has launched a meat hygiene drive in the parish. Acting Chief Public Health Inspector for St. James, Sharika Lewis, providing details on the initiative.
They should continue to purchase and consume meat and other types of these food from reputable sources. Right now, we have our butchers, particularly in the Cambridge area, that are operating. So there are licensed butchers in the parish, reputable butchers that are operating, and we're advising persons to patronize these locations.
To some sad news now, Joe Matalon has been appointed interim executive chairman of the RJR Communications Group. Mr. Matalon assumes the role following the sudden passing of CEO Anthony Smith on Sunday. More in this report.
In a statement, Mr. Matalon said the board moved swiftly to ensure continuity of leadership, operations and governance during the transition period. At the request of the board, he agreed to take on the role of executive chairman on a temporary basis, working closely with the existing leadership team. The board has also approved senior executive appointments that had been previously contemplated by Mr. Smith. Beverly Thompson has been appointed Chief Commercial Officer, while Shawnee Fitt will assume the role of Chief Transformation Officer. Mr. Matalon noted that he will work alongside Chief Financial Officer Carla Stevens-Hall, who has been acting CEO during Mr. Smith's recent absence, as well as Group Senior Executive and former CEO Gary Allen, whose institutional knowledge is expected to support the organization through the transition. He emphasized that the group remains fully operational and focused on its responsibilities to audiences, customers and communities, despite what he described as a deeply difficult moment for the organization. The RJR Gleaner Group again extended condolences to the family of Mr. Smith as colleagues across the organization mourn his passing.
Thank you, Prince. Meanwhile, tributes continue to pour in following the death of Mr. Smith. The Caribbean Broadcasting Union described his passing as a significant loss. Condolences have also come in from the Public Media Alliance, formerly the Commonwealth Broadcasting Association. Locally, the Media Association of Jamaica called his death a major loss to the media and communication sector. It's time for a break. Stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Urban Development Corporation says investors have been reacting positively to its Caymanas Estate Development project, snapping up 50% of the lots in Block 1. The strong response comes less than 1 year after the groundbreaking ceremony for the 108-acre commercial zone, which is called the Raintree Commercial Complex. It is the first phase of UDC's plan to develop more than 3,400 acres of land in the Caymanas Estate, and the corporation says it is on on track to deliver the lots by July of next year. The project is expected to deliver 2,000 short-term jobs during the construction phase and 5,000 long-term jobs upon completion. UDC Chairman Norman Brown says the project is expected to attract infrastructural investments of $3.8 billion and long-term private sector investments of $15 billion. Southwest Airlines is making a major strategic investment in Austin, Texas. The airline announced Friday it will open a new crew base for pilots and flight attendants at the city's international airport. The base, to open in March, is expected to create over 2,000 high-paying jobs. The city of Austin is supporting the effort with a $5.5 million incentive package. The deal reinforces Southwest Airlines' presence at Austin's airport. Southwest already handles more than 40% of all passenger traffic there. For the Business Minute, I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, opposition leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has accused the ruling New Democratic Party of deception over its promise of a bonus salary for public servants. Gonsalves says the NDP clearly campaigned on paying a double salary in December, a claim he argues was repeated on the platform and in party materials. However, the new NDP government says it promised only a bonus payment to be delivered within 60 days of taking office and not a double salary. And on the international scene, at least 15 people are confirmed dead and dozens injured on Bondi Beach, Australia, in a terror attack targeting Jewish people celebrating the start of Hanukkah. Police say the gunmen were a father and a son. The father was shot and killed by authorities at the scene. Now the son is in the hospital in critical but stable condition. Officials say the younger suspect was previously on the radar of authorities, but he wasn't deemed a threat. He's now expected to face charges. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Alia. We take another break. Sports is next.